My name is Coach Leo, and I am a professional coach. I work with high achievers, tech entrepreneurs, founders, and I'm also blessed to be a TikTok coach as well. And the reason of me being on this platform is to really help people shift their mindset, for them to shift their lives. So my goal this year is to reach 10 million people on this platform. It's a big goal. Hence, not only reach 10 million people, but really touch 10 million people, for them to take action in their lives. Because I think being a professional coach, I've been coaching for quite a while now, and I know what coaching can do for people. Hence, my goal is to reach and bring coaching to the world, so everybody could have access to coaching, which is extremely, extremely important. And today we are talking about how to remove distractions. And I'm gonna check in with you, everybody who's in today. How are you doing? What's your mood today? What's in the air? What is your energy like? Would love to connect with you before we dive in. How is your mood today? What's going on? ABA is good, amazing, love the sound of that. And by the way, guys, every follow, every like matters. I really appreciate it, because the more people follow and like this video, the more it gets shown to other people. And the goal is for us to really help do tiny shifts in order to have massive results. Who would not like to do tiny shifts? Because that's what change is. That's what transformation is. That's why reaching your goals look like. That's how in 5 years you completely having a completely different life and different experience from today looks like and means. It means tiny shifts every day that pile up, that compile, that compound over time, and one day you wake up and you never feel the same again. And first of all, before we even dive into that, I'd be curious, what is your biggest distraction? And my intuition tells me that half of the people on this live, they'll tell me TikTok. So we'll dive into that. If TikTok is your biggest distraction, if your negative thoughts is your biggest distraction, if other people are your biggest distractions, let's dive in. Transformation and getting what you want in life, and I've been doing this for a while, is quite simple. This is where you are, and this is where you want to go, right? Whatever you're doing, are you a mom? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a CEO? Are you a founder? Are you an author? Whatever you're doing, there's always a sense of, here I am and here is where I want to go, right? There's always the sense of progress that is escaping me. Progress is too far, is there, and these are things that are holding me back. Let's look at that. Today we'll only talk about what holds me back, what distracts me specifically. Distractions, what are in those distractions? Because what I often hear people, when I ask them, well, why didn't you take action, right? We chat with someone, they decide to take action, a week, 2 weeks, 5 weeks later, we meet and they say, well, I did not. And the usual things, what I hear are distractions. I was distracted by social media, Leo. I was distracted by the people in my life. I was distracted by my negative thoughts. I was distracted by my bad mood. What other excuses do we allow ourselves to believe that are distracting us? Another one I hear, I didn't have energy. How many people can relate? Leo, I did not have energy. You don't understand, okay? And what my intention today for you is to help you explode those distractions for you, and to help you delete those distractions for you, okay? But before we jump into solutions, into solving all of those things, we need to share, and we need to quickly understand, what is it that we're telling ourselves that is a distraction, but it's actually an excuse, right? Let me say it again. What is it that we're telling ourselves that is a distraction, but is actually a disguised excuse? I feel lazy most of the time. Roxy, I heard that before. Yes, it's a common one, right? Distraction means, okay, you agree with yourself to work on your project every day for 3 hours. And then you sit down at the desk and you start working, and then you see your mind drifting, you start looking on the internet, you start calling your friends, you start maybe laying down, you do whatever it takes to avoid focusing on that thing that you are doing and that is important to you. And what we say, well, I got distracted. Where is my focus? I got distracted. The result of that in the moment, it doesn't feel like a big deal. And that is the problem, because in the moment, when I committed to myself to do what I have to do, and I'm just going to check Instagram for 5 minutes. I'm just going to call my friend for 10 minutes. I'm just going to go and grab a glass of water. I'm just going to go and get a coffee. I'm just going to lay down because I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired actually, right? So in the moment, it does not feel like a terrible thing to do. The danger of giving in to distractions, the real danger of giving in to distractions is that over time, when you continue the same behavior over 6 months, you will have catastrophic results. Catastrophic results in achieving the goal that you set off to yourself. What is the biggest problem with that? Is that when you achieve bad results in pursuing your goals, what does your mind tell you? I'm not good enough, right? So we forget to look into those little things every day that we don't do, that we set on doing. And we end up, and this compiles, and we end up 6 months later believing the lie that we are not good enough. When everything starts with tiny distractions, right? So what I'm trying where I'm going with this is that before we start understanding how to release distractions, it is extremely important to understand how really damaging these distractions are. They don't seem damaging in the moment, but compiled on a long term, they will inevitably bring us to a place where we will believe the lie and believe the story that we are not good enough, right? So, who is with me? How? We'll get to the how. But before we get to the how, we need to understand why it's so massively important to take distractions or to take the releasing distractions seriously. Wow, me, correct. Okay, amazing. But before we go on to the how, guys, it is very important. Okay, so let's take the next few minutes. We're going to create a list, an official list of common distractions, right? And then, because why is important to create this list? Because we need to put the name on it, so then we know exactly what is it that we're dealing with. So I'll be taking notes. So what I want you to do, I want you to list all the distractions and all the excuses as well, right? So somebody says my boyfriend, right? My boyfriend distracts me. What else, right? Social media, daydreaming. Yeah, I can see. Daydreaming, my phone. I don't have a goal. That's a very good one. I don't have a goal. Wow, somebody was really honest there. So 30 seconds music TSM, that was fantastic. I don't have a goal. That's absolutely massive. Yeah, I'll get you to that. Okay, amazing. What else? My phone, I have bipolar. So the story, what's keeping you distracted is the story you're telling yourself about being bipolar, not about bipolar itself. Family, parents, right? So loved ones, I can see. All right, great. Thank you so much. Multitasking, good one, right? Multitasking, your boss, amazing. So what I'm seeing, there's common trends, right? So there's one of the biggest ones. So let's put them in different buckets, okay? So bucket number one is social media, electronics, and so on and so forth. Bucket number two is generally family, and bucket number three is a mix of job, right? And a job and everything else, right? Overwhelmed, tasks, whatever I have to do. Okay, so number one, my goal is to empower you. What I want you to stop believing that something is wrong with you. Yes, you are a bit different, but there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. So my goal is to empower you. So distractions, if we see it as, let's say, as few buckets that I can dip my fingers into, okay? So let's say I'm starting to work and there's all an array of distractions around me that are following me, okay? So the first thing about removing distractions, including social media, including mobile phones, including your family, your husband, your dog, your cat, whatever it is, what I want you to stop thinking, I want you to stop thinking about removing the distraction. And you might say, what do you mean? What do you mean, Leo? What's going on? What's going on is that focusing on removing a distraction is the most inefficient way to actually remove a distraction. Okay? So the step number one to remove distractions is to notice your distraction, is to become aware, yes, I tend to spend too much time there, I tend to listen to my husband, give in to what he's asking, my parents, and so on and so forth. But what I want you to focus on is on the task at hand. The number one rule to avoid distractions is to stop trying to avoid distractions and actually put all your focus in what you are doing. So the key solution to overcome distractions is to really take a deep, honest look at what is it that needs to be done. Distractions, or you giving in to distractions, is a result of two things. Number one, either you're not inspired by what you're doing, or number two, you are avoiding to feel something. Two things why you get distracted. Number one, as I said, either you are not inspired enough by what you need to do or what you're supposed to do. You think it's too hard, you think it's not going to work, you think it's a waste of time, right? And number two is because you avoid to feel something, whatever it is, right? Whenever you get upset, what people do, they get on their phones. Whenever they're angry, people get on their phones, right? Instead of allowing time to process their emotions, people use technology. Specifically, we're talking the bucket one, technology. People use technology as a pacifier for their emotions. So instead of, you get upset, you get angry, or maybe you feel like you're lonely, maybe you feel like you're not good enough, maybe you feel like you're down, maybe you feel depressed, maybe you feel sad, maybe you feel stressed. What is it that people do? They use their devices to soothe themselves emotionally. What I mean by that, they use their devices to make themselves feel good in the moment. And this is the most dangerous thing, because when, instead of pausing, whatever you're feeling, I'm feeling pain, I'm feeling hurt, I'm feeling like I'm not good enough, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling stressed, I feel stupid that I don't know what I'm going to do, I feel afraid because I don't know if this is what I'm working at is going to be successful or not. To overcome that, we have to make peace with our emotions. And that's not, it's a simple thing to do, but it's not an easy thing to do. You have to become friends with your emotions, and you have to say, hey, emotion, I know I've been hiding away from you for a really long time, but right now I am ready to deal with you. So number one, observe yourself. Start observing yourself. Like whenever you get upset, whenever you get disagreeable feelings, like being upset, like being tired, like being irritated, like feeling lonely, before jumping, few seconds before you jump on the phone or on the screen, allow yourself a few minutes to process that emotion. Ask yourself, what is it that I'm really feeling? What is it that I'm really feeling? Because whatever you need in that moment, it is definitely not in your phone, and not in your TikTok, and not in your social media. You might need a hug, you might need to forgive yourself, you might need some love, you might need some connection. But definitely, whatever you truly, genuinely needed in that moment, you will not find it in your phone. So then the phone becomes like a pacifier, right? You know how small babies, they cry at night, we put the dummy in their mouth just for them to suck on the dummy and to calm themselves. This is what the phone and TikTok and Instagram, social media, serves people adults today. It's the same emotional pacifier that we put in the baby's mouth. So the baby starts sucking the pacifier and it calms themselves down. Okay? So the main reason why we nurture distractions have nothing to do with with distractions themselves. When we are in a happy, peaceful, calm state, no distraction can pull us from what's important to us. Nothing at all. When we are in a low energy, low emotion, low frequency emotional state, that's when we will be giving in all of the distractions, all of them at the same time, all of them. So instead of us trying to cure distractions, that's why these tips, oh, do this, do that, lock your phone and so on. Yes, that will work 1, 2, 3, 5 times. But the root cause of the problem is actually what is it that you're running away from feeling. And another secret, let me share with you. More often than not, that emotion that you're running from to feel is not as bad as you imagine it. And that's the lie. That's what I'm trying people to get to understand. Just sit with that emotion that you're running away from. I promise you, is not as terrible as you think it is. It's not. I promise you will see. Give yourself a chance. That emotion that you're running away from, it is not as terrible as you imagine. Because the endless process of you going from distraction to distraction to distraction to avoid this one feeling, really, you're better than this. You have the power within you to sit with that one emotion, solve it, and you will see that resisting to temptations to get distracted will absolutely disappear. Now, if that emotion is way too strong for you to handle it alone, seek some help. Work with me, but don't work with me. Find a therapist. Find a friend that you can talk to about this feeling that you're running away from. Help yourself out of it, because it's literally like having a splint in your skin. You will forever be running away from this feeling. Deal with it once and for all. Remove the splint from your skin and enjoy your life. So this is, sweetie, emotion is uncontrollable. No one in this world can. Fabulous idea. Why do you believe this bullshit? Where did that come from? It's absolutely untrue. You absolutely can become friends with your emotions. I don't say control your emotions, because that's not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to befriend our emotions. And so look, I wrote an entire book about it, and you know, I feel you so much. I wrote an entire book. It's called Delete: How to Erase Your Negative Thoughts Fast. And exactly, I have a chapter on emotions. I have a chapter on negative thoughts and emotions where I say that at some point in my life, I felt the victim of my emotions. My belief at the time was that, oh my God, I will forever and ever be the victim of my emotions and there's nothing I can do about it, right? That's exactly what I felt. And through my journey, and that's why I wrote this book, because to me it was transformed. I'm like, oh my God, I can actually understand my emotions. I can process them. I can release them as much as I want, all of them at once, okay? So please don't believe stories that are completely baseless myths that are just going around without us ever question everything, right? Question everything, okay? So this is the number one thing to remember. Allow yourself work through that emotion that keeps you stuck, that keeps you really running for distractions. And once you're done with that, go on and enjoy your life. So the second reason why you're giving into distractions is because you're not excited about what you're doing. You're not excited about your work. The second reason why you give into distractions is because you don't love what you're doing, right? And this has nothing to do with distractions. Again, if we think about removing distractions, that's the most unhelpful way to approach the problem. So the question is, why is it that you don't love what you do? And can be millions and millions and millions of reasons why you don't love what you do and why you have to do what you do. But unless you connect and you create for yourself at least one positive emotion around what you have to do, distractions will forever plague you, and no discipline in the world will help you overcome distractions. So again, instead of us talking and discussing tips and tricks that don't really help, that will help you for a short while, what we need to discuss is the origin of the problem, as if why you give in to distractions in the first place. Because people are very conveniently blaming social media, but social media has no fault. Social media just magnifies what our tendency of behavior already is. It just serves us as a nicer excuse for a bigger problem, okay? It's a bigger problem behind it. Those things in your life. And even if you are short-term in a situation where, say, Leo, you know what, I have no other option, I have to do what I need to do, but I don't like it. I totally understand. Then connect, put a goal after this period of time that you do what you have to do. Excite yourself with what's going to come after. You absolutely need to get yourself excited for the future, and then you will absolutely never again struggle with dealing with distractions. I hope this helps. So these are some thoughts about distractions and how focusing on distractions themselves is the most useless thing. Instead, let's focus on addressing what really hurts us and what really bothers us. And reaching your full potential is as simple as building a house, is as simple as building a bridge. There's nothing mysterious about it. There is this simple progress every single day. You process your emotions. You get yourself to love what you do. And in no time, you will wake up one day and living your dream life. Building a house is not simple. What I meant is not simple. If one wants to build a house, it is easy to get the know-how of how to build a house, right? Let's say build a house and build a rocket ship, right? Building a house, many people did it. There are blueprints, there are specialists. So if you have the money and if you have the right mindset, it's easy to build a house. Similarly, for getting what you want in life, it's easy to get what you want in life because you can follow blueprints. You can, by processing your emotions, by making sure you have elevated energy, by taking care of your mindset, that's how you can get anything you want in life. So that's where the comparison comes from with building a house. It is no mystery about it. It's not like only 2-3 people in the whole of the planet, on the planet, know how to build their house. Many people know how to build their house. But there is this perception that dealing with your emotions, somebody says you can't control your emotions, right? There is, for some reason, this perception that dealing with your emotion is impossible. And you'll forever live until the day you die being a victim of your emotions, right? Or create your own blueprint and be creative. I love that. Sometimes I need to do something I don't like. We all need to do something we don't like. But is this serving your greater good? Is this serving your greater vision of life, of where you're going? Okay? Cure of distraction, friends, religion, etc. I love that you are self-aware. If that's your cure, that's amazing, right? You have other versions of your book. No, for now, this is the only version that I have. I do believe that the emotion does not have the power to control us when we are aware. When we connect with our heart, when we connect with our soul, when we understand what we're here for, when we connect with our purpose, when we connect with our values, when we get clear, when we get so clear what I want, not the world wants for me. When I learn to say no, when I learn to set boundaries, when I learn to find joy and love in this world, when I learn that I don't care what the world thinks of me, I don't care what the world wants for me or from me. When we do all those beautiful things, there's not a chance emotions can control you. Joy and love not always available. And that's totally fine. That I agree with you. But then we have other array of emotions available, right? Focus is a beautiful feeling. Calm is a beautiful feeling. Even being angry sometimes is a beautiful feeling, because it serves us as a message to let us know that something is wrong and we need to shift or change or do something. Technically, all emotions are beautiful if we allow them to be. Because what happens is, whenever a negative emotion arises, we run away from it. We never run, we never listen to it. We don't allow it for it to flow through us. We press it down and we hide from it. And what happens? Do you think the emotion goes away anywhere? It doesn't. If you don't allow the emotion to be processed, to actually feel the emotion, and don't worry, if you allow the emotion to, if you allow to feel the emotions, it's not going to stay there forever. It's impossible. Sit with it, feel it, and it will move out of your body. But if you don't, you press it down, it will just get stuck in your body. It's stuck energy. And that's what creates disease. That's what creates stress. That's what creates imbalance in your energy and in your physical body. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I mean, you could be doing anything with your time right now, and you chose to be here. So wow, my God, I'm blessed. I appreciate you. If I did not take your question, please go through all my videos on TikTok. I have hundreds of videos on different topics. Chances are, whatever question you have for me, you might find it already as an answer in my content. And one thing I want to ask you guys, so if you have any questions for me, drop them in the comments below. I promise you that I'll address them for sure. Other than that, thank you guys, be good. And remember that reaching what you want in life is one step at a time. It really is. It really genuinely is, right? Don't discard the importance of small steps. Love yourself. Love yourself. Please love yourself. Love yourself. Give yourself the most beautiful feeling in the world. You deserve this. I love you. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you on Instagram and YouTube. I'm there too. And take good care of yourselves. We'll see you very soon.